I'm Jeff Gordon, and you're watching Racing America.
Oh boy, back at it again after a week off of rest and relaxation or something that was supposed to be like that.
Is that what that was?
It's everybody's favorite show, your racing show, and all your need-to-know information show. This is indeed the Revved Up Sports Show. Showtime Bobby Chaffee right here. The aforementioned Rodney Rodriguez, that's the man on your left. I said rest and relaxation, but it was a little busy time for you down at, was it Cars on the Coast, Cruising the Coast, whatever that was down there?
Yeah, man, Cruising the Coast, 10,231 entries, breaking a record right there. And I think about 800 plus were here from Texas, about 3,000 there from Mississippi, and every state represented damn near. Didn't get Alaska in there, and then you had some countries from outside the U.S., but it's one of those things to where I highly recommend this to folks to go do this, because it's like a week-long block party, Bobby. All they do is they sit there. The streets are open because the people are just driving their cars, and it smells of exhaust, and it sounds like real freaking cars, and people are just on the sidewalk sitting there drinking beer and eating, and it's just a big party. That's all they do. They sit around and watch cars drive by.
And were you like demographic wise, you're in there with the old men, or is it a mix of young guys, or generally middle-aged dudes with their dream, Chevelles and Camaros and stuff like that?
I think you had a lot of older than me, because and this thing is very restricted. I see a bunch of different car shows for work, and this car show, it's like if you're not I think they cut it off in the early 90s. And don't go rolling up in there with anything, any of these rice burners or none of that. They are not going to let you in. I mean, this is pure American muscle is what you see through there. And it's every variation of it. And like I said, man, it's just really cool to see badass cars, because a lot of the car shows, like the indoor car shows, it's predominantly some of the new stuff, but these are all old vehicles, and they are pretty damn nice. Running around with a stiffy there for a bunch of the week looking at some of that stuff.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures of those old SS Monte Carlo Aero coupes. So
yeah, the Chevelles, a lot of Camaros, predominantly GM, but just from kind of working in parts, GM is usually the easiest to restore or easiest to get a hold of. I did see a couple of really badass Fords and some Dodges, but it was a really good time. It's a lot. It's hot, but the people just truly enjoy it, and really nice people. So I recommend it. Cruising the Coast. They put the dates out. It's October 4th through the 11th of 2026. So go be a part of it. And I think it's like $75 to enter, and you just drive. You just drive around. The funny part, Bobby, is we're like, we're sitting there in our booth, and so many people walking up. Hey, you don't happen to have an electric fan, do you? No, not selling parts. You don't happen to have any oil, do you? It's like you drive all those miles, you get there, and your shit breaks. But anyway, not laughing at them, but it's kind of ironic.
It's called guaranteed business.
There it is. Store right down the road. We welcome in Sugar Sean Folsom. Wonder if Sean's going to be. It's a big week in Austin. I wonder if Sugar Sean Folsom, does Sean do Formula One?
Or I don't know if he does or not. I don't think he's doing Formula One this weekend.
I don't think Sean is
quite. We don't even do Formula One this weekend, because you got to give the blood sample and a tissue sample to the people to get your damn credential over there.
I don't want any part of that. I had somebody that reached out to me over the weekend. It was like, hey, do you want a grounds pass? Do you want to make your way out there? And this is after 7 days of being on my feet for 14 hours a day. I'm like, no, just don't want to deal with it. Just don't want to deal with that. So, but it's a lot. So if you're going to Formula One, have fun. Get us a shirt.
Yeah. Look us up. Tag us on Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah.
Or Instagram, or wherever the hell else you get your wonderful podcast from.
Yeah. Tag the show. Speaking of traveling, how would you like to be this fella right here? How'd you like to be Joe White? Drive all the way to Talladega. You get there, you park the bus, and figure out he's been fired. Come on, man. Save the guy a trip.
Yeah, that was a little rough. I saw that this afternoon.
What team is that? That's the 10 team. So that's
the 10 team, the colleague.
Okay. Well, I don't know. We can talk about NASCAR a little bit later on. I don't know exactly how much of that. I'm kind of putting a lot of that on the driver. I mean,
I think a good square amount needs to be on the driver, but
yeah,
got to have some communication there. So
yeah. One of the first things I learned when I raced, and of course we raced without radios and all these different things, but I learned yellow flag, something's wrong. I'm going to go to the inside. I'm mad at you. I mean, you learn hand signals when you're,
oh yeah, you learn them.
yeah, when you're going to be a racer. So I kind of put a lot of that on the driver, but that is kind of shitty though, to let the man go all the way to Talladega and then tell him your services are no longer needed.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, and then all the rumors are popping through today that the alliance between RCR and Colleague, the one welcome theme, were done today. We'll get into that a little bit later. But like I text you, all that tells me RCR ain't going to Dodge.
Yeah, I thought that would really be, I think Pop is pretty sold there on being GM, and I think that he'll stay there. It's kind of one of those things where he would stay there and be the fourth best GM team, then make a move like that, because that's just what he's always done. And I think that's a lot of how that team operates and why it's in the spot that it's in right now, because they just kind of, and it's weird to me because they helped develop this car, and I would have thought out of the box, which I guess they were pretty good out of the box, but I would have thought that they would have helped develop this a little bit better and been a little more formidable than they have been, but that's a whole different discussion. But yeah, that there's that move right there. And also, I think we know where Daniel Suarez will be landing next season, I guess.
Yeah, in 2026.
Yeah. Looks like that will be the place on the program tonight. Anyway, we'll get deeper into that. Logan Dinsmore is going to join us. He is the 2025 champion of the South Texas IMCA Modified Series. We'll talk with him about just the season, how the series has progressed, and just his run. I mean, anytime that you're in a points battle like that, to be able to do that, it's a whole lot. And 7:35 or so, right past the bottom of the hour, we'll talk to Rachel Plant, the picture taker, good friend of ours. Hey, man, we knew her. Remember, we knew her when she was just embarking on this.
That's right. Just
addiction.
Starting out.
Yeah. Just starting out at the old CTS.
Had to introduce her to people.
That's right. And just some really great photographs that she has done over time. And we'll see what maybe she'll tell us what's next on her plate. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. You never know. That's why the show's live. We don't do scripts, so
absolutely not.
No pre-prepared questions. None of that for the guest. Everything's off the cuff. And sometimes that's a good thing. Other times it slides off the rails. But that's what makes the show so much damn fun.
Well, that's what we always tell folks when they're going to be a guest on this. It's like, what are we going to talk about? And it's like, we promise you, it's not going to be anything that you don't already know. We'll probably ask you things that only you will know the answer all day. I will say, and one of the things we're going to do in the winter, as Bobby's mentioned, and I've mentioned a couple of different times, is we want to hone back in on some of the legends when we have a little bit of non-racing activity, which, by the way, right now, High Limit is on Flow. And this is their midweek thing. I'm really into High Limits, man. No offense to World of Outlaws, but I don't know why. High Limits kind of really has me intrigued right now when it comes to sprint car racing.
Yeah, they got a little more crisp production there, especially in the midweek shows.
Yeah.
It's showcased during the midweek shows, and that carries over to the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Lucas Oil tonight, and then actually back somewhere I wanted to be this weekend, but I'm just not able to with some other obligations that I have. They'll be running a couple of shows Friday and Saturday at TMS at Texas Motor Speedway, then the banquet coming up at the Stockyards, I heard them say. So they'll be at the historic Stockyards. That's a good place too. Put that on your bucket list if you're thinking about Texas. Again, our show is originating in Texas. Stockyards is a pretty damn cool place to go.
It's a bit touristy, but it's not as touristy as it could be. The shops and stuff can be, some of the gifts and stuff like that. Very Texas tourist trap type of thing.
Yeah.
But seeing them Longhorns roll down the street at 10 and 2 and 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon for the cattle drive that goes about 5 blocks, that's kind of cool. Yeah, unless it's too hot, they protect those Longhorns. If it's too damn hot, they don't run the cattle drive. So
yeah.
But if it's too hot for them cows, it's damn sure too hot for you.
Yeah. Captain Bruce Wright checking in. I don't know what the punchline is right here. And, we are very unrestricted here on this platform. I don't know if I want to know. I don't know if I think he's calling one of us gay or both of us. I think it's possibly what he's doing right here. So
Don't tell him. And
I've
I
caught
will
a
see
lot of
him
shit about shaving. I've caught a lot of shit about shaving. So I can only assume he's talking about me,
Well,
which I am gay. I'm happy and gay, right?
I guess.
That one Christmas Carol has that word in there, and it's not a big deal. Before Logan Dinsmore, speaking of Texas tourist traps, you're a Buc-ee's fan, right? You try to hit the Buc-ee's when you can. So you see they're getting some competition in Corpus.
Oh, I saw the article was you had to pay for it to read it, so I didn't read it. I saw that it was getting some competition, but I didn't get to see with who.
Great. I opened it right up. So I guess this is something else that I'm paying for that I don't know about. From mysa.com, the Texan is what it's called. The Texan is the name of this Bucky-ish type franchise that headquartered in Yorktown. So one of those small towns on the way. They're going to be opening up a one-stop shop megastore at the Corpus Christi International Airport, and that's right there past 44 on International Drive is apparently where that's going to be, and it's like a 40-year lease on this. And I've actually stopped at one of the Texans. There is one this side going into Victoria when I had the kid over at Victoria, and I would stop in there quite often. It's not quite Buc-ee's, but these things are popping up everywhere now, right?
It's a cool thing to do now, right?
Yeah.
Before it wasn't. I mean, I'm just fortunate. There's a Buc-ee's every direction I go to a racetrack. So where there's down to Texana, I got the big one in Luling. I've got the one in Bastrop. I've got the one going north. If we go to Waco, got the one because you and I generally stop at the one in Temple. At our age, we're forced to check out the cleanliest bathrooms. So
I've
go to one at TMS.
Yeah, I've gotten to where I avoid them unless I'm traveling like with you or with a fellow that I travel with for work every now and then. He's a Buc-ee's guy as well. But if I'm by myself, I'll probably find a quick trip. To be honest with you, I'll probably hit a QT just for ease. Usually
a little easy to get in and out.
A little bit easier. Not quite all the
pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, and people just with their head up their ass. It's like go, 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 go. And that's the funny thing that I've realized traveling to some of the other southern states now, is to where I go different places and they're like, oh, you got to check out this new place that we have here. One of the few in the state. It's called Buc-ee's. I'm like, dude, I'm from Texas. I know what that is.
No, we're getting one right down the street from the house. I'll have one here at the end of 2026. Gonna go right next door to the Chevy dealership down there.
R.I.P. Thunderhill Raceway. Yeah, like right across the street, right from where that was.
Yeah, caddy corner anyway. Yeah.
Imagine if that track was still there and that was still there. You'd be in hog heaven right there.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
Have everything we need.
If I lived where I live now and could still get to the racetrack going the back way.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that would be unbelievable. The way we used to go isn't even there anymore. I was out there a while back and I'm like, let me take the old way back, the way we used to, if we happen to indulge a little bit too long, pulling the trailer and all that. And we kind of had a secret way to get back to the old Lockhart. And hell, that way don't exist anymore. Hell, it's all concrete. It's all sidewalks and parking lots and all that stuff.
Yeah. Or houses, depending on how far you go.
Yeah. What are they doing to us? All right. Enough of the small talk. Let's talk some racing. Let's dive in right here. The South Texas IMCA Modified Series completes their second season, I believe it is, of on-track competition. This is the man at the top of the heap. We welcome into the program. It is Logan Dinsmore. Mr. Dinsmore, how you doing, sir?
Not too bad. How are y'all?
Doing well, my man. Doing well. So how you feeling post-championship, my friend? Pretty damn big feat right there to win any championship, I will tell you. But when it comes to a modified championship like that, kind of take us through how that felt once it was all said and done.
Yeah, I'm mostly glad that it's over, I guess. The beginning of the season, like, we kind of thought about a championship run, but then we started running better, and it just worked out. And once those final, 3 races, we were leading, and the gap was smaller, and then it got bigger towards the end, and it basically came down to just had to finish. And that was very stressful, especially that doubleheader weekend at the end, the Friday Saturday show.
Absolutely.
So talk about the stress of that. Obviously, rain played havoc and hell on the schedule for 2025, but there was a couple of those races where you ran a Heart of Texas and Waco one night, and then had Corpus the next, and then you had an I-37 doubleheader at one point. Like when you see that, because your home base is not exactly Central Texas located as it is. I mean, do you look at the miles and go, oh, damn, that's a lot of traveling to try to race for a trophy and some good money?
We went to the first time we went to 37 was the last race of the year because their first race got rained out, and that's our closest track. That one's about an hour 45 for us. So Waco's 3.5 hours, Corpus 3.5 hours, Edna 3.5. Luckily they were spread out enough that we could kind of plan ahead and chase them, you know. But it's a lot of. I mean, I'm not the one that drives the hauler. Dad. He wants me to get to driving that thing, but that's a little too scary for me. So I'll stick.
Oh man, yeah. I was very trailer shy myself for a long time, hauling shit around like that. So I definitely can feel you there. So with your season, I mean, obviously with wins and so forth, I mean, you had those, but for you, it really was the complete season, because you see a lot of times where when you get into championship runs to where you win, you crash. It's feast or famine a lot of times, but for you, it was running at the front, and if you didn't win, you're running right near the front. Kind of take us through that, man. Consistency was the key, it seemed like, for you guys.
Yeah, we struggled the first. Well, I say struggle. Our worst finishes were 6th.
Nice.
In a field like that, it still feels really good to run that well. We just found some things wrong, or just something we did wrong with the car, and then went to Corpus, made the wrong adjustments, ran 4th, and then we went to Waco, and it was that was a blast. That was a great track. I'd never been there the first time being there, and then those races after that, it was just consistent runs towards the front. It's kind of hard to points chase and chase a win at the same time, because like it's two different mindsets. Like sticking your nose somewhere that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Takes to get to the front half the time, so you kind of bail on those kind of things when you're chasing points. But then we had a couple wins at I-37 for their separate shows of stems, and so we had a lot of speed throughout the year.
So talk about like that one race that you guys had in Waco. That was a hell of a car count that was for there, and I think that you had a lot of the northern guys, so to speak. Texas is so big, we could say northern and stuff like that. But that Waco, I think they had 15, 18 cars just in the B main. So what, when you show up at a race like that, is the goal just to make the A first and then concentrate on setup, or you try to just concentrate on the setup from the time you unload the trailer and get ready to start packing the track?
Well, so Stems does a redraw for the heat races, but it's a different style of redraw as opposed to the normal IMCA top 12. It's still top 12, but they redraw 1 through 3, or 1 through 4, and then 5 through 8, so on and so forth. So it's really just like my first goal is like make the redraw, like whether that's get the final spots of the redraw or a better spot of the redraw. But the first goal is to get a redraw, and then it's just. Once you started points racing, it was kind of just make it to the end. And Waco, the car was almost too good not to chase it. It was a tricky cushion in 1 and 2. It was pretty wide in 3 and 4. I think I jumped that cushion about 3 or 4 times, ripped the nose off. So that was, and then there was a lot of good cars. Dean Abbey, Garrett Gregory, Morris, Cody Leonard, Stevie, Marcus. And there was a lot of good cars there, so it felt really good to compete that well.
Talk about that part, Logan, as Logan Dinsmore joins us on the Revved Up Sports Show 2025, South Texas IMCA Modified Champion, presented by On Demand Shirts. So with that right there, something that you just said. So when you have how the series has kind of branched itself out a little bit, adding Waco and some of those different nuances, you do get to where you have the regular campaigners, but you get different guys that are thrown at you. And the quality of talent in these cars, and still to me, a modified is just a beautiful work of art running around these racetracks. Talk about some of these guys that you race against, whether it be regularly or the guys that come in. It's a fantastic feel of guys that you may see on any given race.
I think if you were to do like a betting odds on a race, like you might have like one guy that is a little bit more favored than the other, but there's at least 6 that are positive odds, you know. And I mean, it's super competitive. Like Garrett went up to Super Nationals, made the show. Cody was up there.
Yep.
You're racing guys like Dean Abbey, Chris Morris, last year's champion. I mean, like you got constant competition. So I mean, you finish 4th, and then you go, well, I got beat by this guy. I got beat by this guy. Like if this was a weekly night, I might have walked the dog on him. But
Yeah.
you know, this is your race you can in Texas.
Absolutely.
So look, let's talk about your story. Obviously, at least a second generation racer that I know from watching your dad race all those years. What kind of knowledge has he passed down, or is dirt track is it one of those things where he says, "Hey, back in the day, we used to do this," and it's like, "Well, Dad, we have technology in
Those
these
days
cars more
passed.
than we ever had." You know, what's it like? What's it like racing with your dad, or being a part of your dad on the team and stuff like that?
I mean, he's still like throughout like his racing. I mean, he learned so much from the chassis schools and working with Harris race cars and stuff like that. Like all that knowledge is still all the basics dropped down, and all the even the stuff that was fast then is still basics knowledge now. And there's just little things that have changed, but I mean, he's still like a huge part in it, and I've been around it forever. I mean, you put Greg Dinsmore on a slow, slick racetrack, he'll probably walk the dog today. So, I mean, he's just I can't ask for a better mentor. I mean, that's who you want to learn from, you know.
Yeah, for sure. The variety of track with stems, kind of like I was talking about there when you add Heart of Texas, kind of talk about the differences and the nuances and things that make these tracks unique, like Cotton Bowl obviously being huge. The biggest one on the schedule. Waco is its own little gym there, but South Texas, 37, Texana, some of these different places, you guys have while some of them may seem similar, they all have their distinct differences when it comes to these South Texas tracks.
Yeah, I mean, Waco, I mean, is a bull ring. I mean, I don't know much about it other than the one time I was there, and that was a really fun track. Bull ring, high banked, had a cushion that was built by the cars themselves, built cushion, which either or I'm fine with, but those are like, that was first time ever being on a cushion like that, and that was something in itself. Corpus, you carry a lot of speed there. The track's real hard on tires. So that's a factor. And then 37 is a D-shaped track, cushion around the top that's built by the track, and then it's wide enough to get 3 or 4 wide. Cotton Bowl, long straightaways. Texana, paperclip. So you got everything. You have to be good at everything to be there at the end of the year or to compete well. And I think I don't think we had. I think Morris got 2 wins in the beginning of the year, and then I don't think we had a repeat winner after that. So like, you had to be good everywhere, and it was good everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So Logan, your success the last couple of years on stems have been pretty impressive. I know you got a few wins last year, barely missed out on the championship. Talk about, was that more of a motivating factor for this season to just get up on the wheel and say, I'm not losing this one? Or is it just a race by race deal? I know you said you didn't like racing for points, but it's always one of those things where you start out the year, if you run well, you look at the points, you're like, ooh, I'm up at the top. I can do this. And then you're like, well, a couple of races later, you're like, why the hell am I chasing points?
Yeah, I mean, last year, the first year of stems, still really competitive. I think it's more competitive this year. It just keeps growing. And I think we won 5 times last year with stems. And that was in my old car, which my brother's driving now. And that was a good year. And then right at the end, within like the last 5 laps, that's when we lost the championship. So, throughout the off season that stung, and then I'm sitting here looking at the second place trophy. And so, once I seen the schedule was shrunk down a little bit, as opposed to last year, and it just worked out better. And we had this new IRP car, and it is a bullet. So honestly, if I with how fast the car was, if I didn't compete well consistently, I would be disappointed.
Right. So with the series with stems, you kind of mentioned there, it was, the brainchild of a family, that wanted to get the modifieds, back on track again. And they did a great job with that as it comes along, with ODS coming along in 2025, just as a competitor, throughout the origin of the series. Kind of talk about the growth that you've seen right there. It seems very strong right now, and moving forward, it looks like this is something that's only going to continue to grow, Logan, as we move on, in the years to come.
Yeah, the Horch family. I mean, mods were dwindling. You have an occasional 15 car field somewhere, and then usually your usual field was 10, 8, 12, and then the fast cars were spread out, so you'd have 2 or 3 at each track, the ones that were competing for the wins weekly. And now with stems, you brought them all together. Now you have a place for modifieds, and it pays good. The points pay good. It was good last year, and then ODS stepped up, and they made it even better. So the points fund, the payout weekly. I mean, we're racing for at least 1,000, if not more, weekly. I think so. Yeah, Waco is 1,500 to win. The start money's good. It's just it just keeps growing. So if it just keeps getting, people are getting modifieds. They're wanting to get out there with them, and I don't see it going down any lower. I mean, this is great for modifieds.
Absolutely.
So as the champion, what's your ideal schedule for next year? Do you want to go the 4 race rotation, 2 per track, or you want to see 12, 14 races? I mean, because the races count for national points, don't they?
Yeah. National points would be hard to chase down here, at least. We'd have to race weekly almost, and 40. I think it's your best 40 nights a year. So for the STEM series, with how it's paying, I'd rather race, 15 times for the amount of pay we're getting as opposed to 25, 30 times for weekly pay, And I think that the show we put on, it means more to win a Stims race as opposed to, a couple years back, you go to a weekly race and it's nice to win, but when you win, a Stims is like a big show every time you show up. And so I think a 15 race schedule, keep it around South Texas, hit Waco a couple times. I think that would be a nice turn.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. I like for it to lay out that way. Last one for me, Logan, is obviously, wide open platform right here. Talk about obviously your family. Talk about all the folks that make this happen. Because it takes a lot to make a championship run. To make a top 5 run, to make a top 10 run on a season championship. But to go in there and win this in a mega competitive series, man, talk about all the folks that make it happen, because I know it takes an army.
Yeah, most importantly, my dad, Sundowners Performance Diesel. He is it wouldn't be possible without him. If I was into racing without him, I would be, I don't know, racing once a year in a go-kart somewhere. It's all on his shoulders, and he does everything he can to make sure we have the best stuff out there that we can compete with, and he just makes it all possible. And then ODS stepped up with us last year. We got some shirts made, and then we got shirts made again this year. Got us a RUSS suit. They've helped us out tremendously. I know him and my dad have grown a connection with the STEM series and sponsoring. And James, the ODS people are the probably the best thing that's happened to South Texas racing. They have flooded the. I don't even know how you say it. Just they take care of everything. They wanted to see the STEM series stick around because the Horches couldn't do it no more, and they knew that it couldn't go down, and they stepped up. And then all the races they sponsor, all the racers they sponsor, tracks, they do so much for the area. And Royals Automotive from Kerrville, Texas, hometown. Lowry's Plumbing, my grandparents. Weir's Machinery, CarQuest of Kerrville, Swinson Racing Shocks, Chris Swinson, Relief for Troops, Mark O'Donnell and Drew Hessler. IRP race cars, Jason Ingalls. It's been a huge help this year. First class towing with Steve Whitaker. A lot of information from him for this car. This is his old car. And I think that's Kevco drive shafts, them too.
Absolutely.
Well, man, it's been fun watching you guys. Stims is a lot of fun when it comes to town. I know that I had a good time when y'all were down in Edna at the beginning of the year to kick off the season after a couple of rainouts. So we're hoping for the best for 2026. Look forward to seeing you guys and gals make the rounds around South Texas and putting on even a better show coming up in 2026. So congrats on the championship and best of luck in 2026, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank y'all.
You bet, man. Take care. Congratulations. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
See y'all.
All right. There he goes. Logan Dinsmore, champion of South Texas STEM series, South Texas IMCA modified series, and just a great run for them. I mean, it's been a really good 2 years for him, like he talked about right there, with a runner-up, the year before, and then the championship coming through this year. So really impressive what they've done, and I love that right there when he talks about his dad, because it's like he's still actively involved right there. And Greg Dinsmore, he's adapted well to the new stuff. And like Logan said, and you watch tonight, that guy will get out there and kick your ass too.
Yeah, depending on the night, he can still reach up and do it, knock the rust off a little bit, and show them kids up, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that is one of the guys that will sneak up on you if you don't have him on, as they say, on the bingo card on any given night. You watch that guy, and he might come up and get you. The Revved Up Sports Show, presented by On Demand Shirts and Audio Visual Consultations. Of course, our title sponsors right there for all the great stuff that they do for us. We talk about on-demand shirts all the time. You hear about on-demand shirts all the time. How about a word from the man that is on-demand shirts?
Why is branded apparel so important for your company? Well, because a shirt or even a hat that has your brand on it gets worn to grocery stores, baseball games, or even family reunions. The impressions are endless and they last years. Contact us today so we can help elevate your company. You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams. But we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
Absolutely. On-demand shirts, check them out. They will hook you up like they have hooked up so many different folks within the racing circles around here. Moments away from the picture taker, Rachel Plant, joining us here on Revved Up Live. I do want to touch on, we've got NASCAR conversation coming up. We'll talk about the Alabama State Championship that you will have this weekend out at Montgomery Motor Speedway, so forth and so on. Talk about some NASCAR TV ratings. Oops. As our guest says,
lack thereof.
Yeah, oopsie. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But Winchester 400 this past weekend at Winchester on the high banks there, and Ty Majeski.
He bought a Wisconsin can of whoop ass with him, didn't he?
350 of 400 laps, Ty Majeski. And it's, that dude's in the thick of trying to. He's in the truck championship.
Still hanging in there.
Yeah, he's
super,
hanging on
super
barely.
tight battle coming in with I think the top 4 or top 8. I think the biggest gap. I think they're separated by a total of 16 points from 1st to 8th, with 2 races to go. Talladega on Friday, and then they got a Martinsville race, I think, the following Friday.
And our man Caden Honeycutt's still in the thick of that as well. And that's, man, how sweet would that be if he'd be able to win that championship with 2 different teams? I mean, I think.
Well, he was running top 5.
Yeah.
There at the Roval and got punted on the coming to the turn 7 to get up on the high banks, just got punted and he was pissed.
I don't blame him.
After winning a couple of stages, he was not a happy camper. I think it dropped him from 4th or 5th back to like 8th or 9th. He lost all the, he was in on points above the cutoff line, and now he's not. But I think he's 4 points out, and I think there's another guy that's like 8 points out. So it's the points are just incredible.
Yeah, really tight. Playoffs. Whatever. Yeah, Winchester 400. So Ty Majeski, the winner there. Dawson Sutton second. Cole Butcher comes home third. Billy Van Meter, Stephen Nassy rounding out the top five. And one of the crown jewels, in my opinion, the Winchester
I want to
400.
go up there and see. You ever seen a Crown Vic race up there? Ooh.
No, man. I haven't seen that. But just that track. I mean, it was
testicles
like,
bang the ground in the corners depending on what car you run up there.
I can only imagine. I mean, with the hills on that place. I mean, you know, I remember back in the day when, you know, before these late models got as strenuous and technology based as they are right now, and Mike Eddy and Sineker and Jim Sauter and these guys are running out there in ASA, and those guys would go out there and you'd see them banging the skid plates going through those hills out there at Winchester, and it's like, holy shit. Yeah, you know, it that's a track that's on the bucket list.
Yeah.
And I've told a lot of people that don't know about Winchester, and like, Winchester, why Winchester? Well, you don't know.
Thursday Night Thunders from Winchester should be a lot of fun too.
Oh, dude.
I have the truck points for you. Corey Heim is already locked into Phoenix by winning. Tyler Ankrum is +2 above the cut line. Friend of the show, Daniel Hemrick, above 2 from the cut line. +1 is Rajah Caruth in fourth. Lane Riggs -1. Ty Majesty -2. Grant Infinger and Caden Honeycutt are -4.
Nice. There
so
you go.
You talk about a tight points battle going into Talladega on Friday.
Yeah.
Early. I think green flag drops at like 3:30
on Friday.
On Friday afternoon race again.
Oh, nice. All right. That'll be good. All right. Let's go back in. On Demand Shirts presents our next guest, and not a stranger to many of you that have been around the racing circles. Oh, look at her.
It's sideways.
Yeah, there we go.
It's not sideways anymore.
Got you right there. It is our good friend, the picture taker, Rachel Plant. Still Rachel Plant for a little bit, right? It's still Rachel Plant for a little bit longer.
It is. It's until February, but I'm trying to get used to the name change. So if you went with Stuart now, I wouldn't be mad. It's okay.
That's gonna be weird, because I know. So my wife, before she married me, her married last name before me started with a K, and everybody called her Tracy K all the time because it just sounded kind of cool, you know, Tracy K. And for a long time, people were like, "Hey, Tracy K," and for a while, I'm like, it's a fucking R. But I eventually got over it. You know, that's okay. So anyway, I digress.
Doesn't sound like you're over it now, but
yeah, really, yeah, it doesn't bother me that much. Still. So how you doing, girl? Is a weight lifted off of you after all of these years of just looking at racing through a lens?
It is. I had to put my shirt on one last time today because it'll be the last time I'm going to have to wear it. I'm really coming into this with mixed emotions. I thought I was going to be completely fine. It's a big life change for me. Racing photography has been with me for the last 10 years. Started at Central Texas Speedway, and here I am now. It's been through a lot of life changes with me, and it's gonna be missed. But yes, there is a huge weight lifted. Today I sat down and I looked at my computer and I went, what on earth am I supposed to do? I don't have anything to do. I uploaded my last photos. I'm like, what do I do now? It's going to be a change, but it's going to be a really good change.
Absolutely.
So let's crank it back 10 years ago. Roddy and I joked before you came on the show. We remember that we had to introduce you to people. And we see the picture over your left shoulder, which I think is the picture that got you your name out there, so to speak, with that calamity. Because I think Rodney and I were actually announcing from that perch when that wreck happened, and you just happened to be right there. And the rest, as they say, is history. Talk about that.
You were. Let's go back to the very beginning. So Central Texas Speedway had all of the Wednesday country music concert series there. And I love country music. So I would always go to watch the music. And then one day I just started bringing my camera because I wanted to take pictures of the people who were singing. And I met the people who were running the track at the time. And they said, hey, why don't you come and take race car photos? I can't do that. I'm not a photographer. I can't do pictures of race cars. So they said, just come try. So one day I showed up, I was up on the perch, I was taking pictures, and then I'd post them online, and they were awful. They were the worst things you've ever seen. I look back at them now and I'm just like so embarrassed, but everybody has to start somewhere, right? So Ellen Wright now called me one day and she's like, hey, you take pictures at the racetrack. how can I buy that? Why on earth would you want to buy that? But she did. And so I met her in the pits one day. It was my first trip ever in the pits. And she brought me around introducing me to people. And that's really where it all started. And then you guys being the announcers there really introduced me to people. And it's just been a whirlwind ever since.
It seems like for me, Rachel, and again, somebody new into racing, and I thought that it was so cool that you were coming in and going in that capacity, because that's one of those things that I don't care whether it's digital or like in the old days when I used to go to the track and my dad would buy me racetrack photography. You know, you actually bought a picture for $1 or whatever the case would be. But it really seemed that like the one thing that pulled you in, you kind of mentioned Ellen right there, Miss Ellie. You have developed relationships with people that, I mean, these are lifelong friendships that you have gone out and man, you have taken that. And I think that's got to be one of the things that makes you enjoy this so much, isn't it?
All right, we're going to start with the point of you are not going to make me cry. That is a rule. You are not going to make me cry.
Okay.
It's only
yes.
recorded forever. So if you cry,
I know, right?
nobody will know.
So, yes. These people have become a second family to me. Some of them are literally becoming my family now. Like I'm marrying into this. So I have spent the last 10 years really not just building a photography business, but really just building a brand of myself and what I'm capable of, and building family and building relationships with the racers that's built on trust and honesty and just happiness. I want to be the girl that goes around with the camera in her hand, making everybody laugh, wearing pink. So yes, family has become a very important part of this.
Looky there.
Yeah, that was taken at I-37 one day when I was out there in the infield.
Very nice.
Do the origin.
Wait, hang on. Getting back, I forgot to talk about this, Bobby. You were talking about this picture. Yes, nobody knew who I was until this picture was taken, and you gave it to me, Rodney, at that very first banquet. And then that is the photo that did give me my name. So that is why that's up there.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool moment.
Now, carry on with your question.
The origin of the pink tire. You mentioned pink, but how that's incorporated into everything that you have going on. Talk about that pink tire. Was that your idea? Was that a track idea? What was the origin of the pink tire? Do you know?
I think Nathan did it. If I remember right, I think Nathan's watching. I think Nathan did that. Somebody did it one day, just happened to paint it pink. And then I was like, oh, it's pink. I wear pink. That's going to be my pink tire. So we started to call it My Pink Tire, and it just really stuck with the announcers. But I think it was Nathan who originally did that, but I don't really remember. It's been so many years ago.
So let's talk about the part where, of course, because like you said, CTS and 2017, you were. I want to flash back to that because when we lost CTS, I mean, we all, not to rehash all that, and again, I don't want to cry tonight, but so when all of that goes down, kind of take us through when you organized that banquet. I mean, all of that happens. You took it upon yourself to go and do this, and I had so many people that came up that night, and they're like, "Oh, thank the track. We're so grateful to the track." I'm like, "Track didn't do shit." I said, "One person did this," and kind of take us through that. Why did you do that? Why?
Because I could. So I work in a career where I have planned many events. So planning something like that is not something that's super difficult to me. So when the track shut down, it was my first full year of photography, and I'd really kind of gotten to know the people and started to build relationships with them, and just really seeing how devastated everybody was when the track shut down. We had already started talking about a banquet, and then the track shut down. So of course they were like, well, we're just not going to do it. And because I had the knowledge and the capabilities, I was like, well, we can do this. Just put it in my hands. Just, if you guys will buy the awards, pay for the awards, I'll do the rest. And they said, we don't care, whatever. So we did it. I did it. I had people that helped me. Jeanette Huff helped with the decorations and things. I had people that helped me, but it was a very memorable event. It was something that, I know it's a huge deal to everybody, but to me, it was just something to help the people that I knew and that I started to form relationships with. and it just made them so happy. And so making them happy made me happy. And that's where this photo comes from. Because Brandon McCall had this printed for me in poster size. You can't really see the full thing. I tried, but it was sideways. It's a photo of me up on the tower at Central Texas Speedway holding my camera with the racetrack in the background taking photos. So they had that blown up, and they had everybody that came to the banquet sign that. And so this is probably one of my most prized possessions that I own because
And
it meant that much to me.
and by the way, thank you very much. There it is right there. Look at that.
Yep, there's that one.
Big old fat dude on the right side with a pretty girl to the left. And there it is right there.
Oh, I was so young. There's so many less wrinkles there.
Yeah, I actually had a little bit of hair back then. I had a hairline
How about
back
that?
then.
How about that?
Yeah, now I got to wear a cap to hide all that stuff. So
Mhm.
anyway,
So, what was your first thought when you started doing photography work?
photographer
Photographer and picture taking, when because that's a big change. We know from announcing, you got to change a lot of your delivery and your pickup and stuff like that. But what was it like going from, filming at an asphalt track to dirt track? Did you have to change anything, or did you have to learn how to get out of the way faster, or talk about that?
Well, let's start with the fact that I didn't know anything about race cars when I came into this. I knew that they were cars and they go around in circles, and that's it. Absolutely nothing. So I would not go in the infield. I stayed up on that tower. I took photos from there, and I did the best I could. You could not catch me in the infield because I didn't know how to run from them. I didn't know if they were coming after me. So when the asphalt track shut down and people were moving over to dirt, most of them were going to I-37. And so Ray reached out to me one day and he said, why don't you come down here to I-37 and shoot some photos in dirt? And I was like, well, okay, I guess. So I went down there and I stood on the tower. And Jay Hollis finally was like, Rachy, he calls me Rachy. He's like, Rachy, you have to come in the infield. You have to try it. And I'm like, no, those cars are going to hit me. But eventually I did. And I got used to the cars coming at me. And it was very dirty. There's a very different between dirt and asphalt. Asphalt's very, very clean. Dirt, you just go home and you are soaked head to toe in sweat, sunscreen, and mud when it's all done. The flash, it's very hard to use any kind of flash when there's any kind of dust. So it's a whole lot different than the asphalt days.
Mm-hmm. So with that, as that happens, and you obviously you knew a lot of people at that point. How'd you end up at Cotton Bowl? Marianne, had been at CTS, which was Thunderhill at that point, and then she had moved on, and there's Cotton Bowl. Kind of talk about the progression over there. I'm assuming you knew Robert by that point. I'm sorry you're marrying that guy. I'll try to talk you out of it.
He is too. So actually, I will take you back there. I did not know Robert. I did not know Marianne. When I came to Central Texas, it was after Marianne had moved on. I'd never met her. I didn't know who she was. Never heard of her. So one day she calls me and she says, hey, I've heard your name. I've seen you. You want to come up to Cotton Bowl? It's closer for you. And I was like, oh, I guess. So I went up there and shot a couple of races at Cotton Bowl. And one of my first ones I shot was one of the World Outlaw races. And that's actually where second time I met Robert. I saw him once at I-37. He was there and he rolled his car on the backstretch. And
that's a nice first impression.
I take my little golf cart to the drivers and I'm like, hey, Mr. Driver, because I don't know the emotions involved. Would you like a ride back to your pits? And he looks at me and goes, no. All right, sure, walk away. So I went back. That was the first time I ever actually met Robert. His first word he ever said to me was no. So
no shit.
It's all good. And then I met him again at the World Outlaws event at Cotton Bowl, and that's when we became friends and took it from there.
There you go.
So she called, she asked, and I just started coming back and been there for I don't exactly know how many years, 6, 7, 8, something like that. As long as she's had it.
Robert's first impression on people is usually pretty bad.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just giving him hell. I'm just giving him hell. I love that guy.
He's sitting right there listening to you.
No, sorry, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice.
Nah, he's great.
He's a good dude.
What is it too early to ask you? Other than the two pictures behind you, or the one with Corey flipping through the infield there, or flying through the infield, do you have one that's a favorite other than that one? I mean, over the years you've taken so many. Is it you have it narrowed down to like a top 10 list or anything?
Yeah, any photo of that 32 car. No, I'm kidding. So I hate to say this because I hate wrecks, but some of the ones that have gotten that 32 car, some of the ones that have gotten the more attention have been the spins. There's one that's got, I think it was Howie Marks that was flying through the air through at I-37. The ones that are just the crazy shots that you'd never think you would catch. They just interest me and they get the most attention. But if I have to say there's ones that are the favorite, the one that would be my favorite are the ones I took at I-37 the night that Chris Morris won his first race.
Mm-hmm.
That night was emotional for absolutely everybody that was there. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. The Morris family, all of us were crying. We were so excited. So that would have to probably be my favorite photos I took was that night of that first win, because that's what's most meaningful to me. I get to see, racing has so much emotion in it, and being there in the infield, you're there for it all. You would be absolutely amazed, which you probably know, how many men are saying, "Oh, it's sweat" when they get out of the car and they're wiping their tears because they're so excited. Or you're there for their best moments of their first wins, their championships, but you're also there for their worst when they total their race cars and they're in the infield and you're like, "Hey man, here's some water. It's going to be okay." You're there for it all. As far as one thing happened last Friday on my last night of photos, and it really reminded me of what I love the most about this is the 513 car sport mod. Joe Ponton Sr., he won his heat race. And I think it was his first heat race he ever won. So he gets his pink flag and he's going around the track. And when he's coming around 3 and 4 and I'm taking his picture, all I hear is him screaming in excitement. That man is so excited. He is just screaming. And I just sat there and I thought, that is exactly why I do this. That is what I love the most about this. That's what's going to be the most memorable, is hearing those people, even with their helmets on in those cars, being so excited and getting to be there with them when they get out.
Yeah, you really have brought joy to a lot of people. I mean, I'll tell you, just and it's so funny in the jobs that we do. I mean, like the job that you had, the job that I had, the job Bobby still does, to where it's like, folks don't think of photographers or announcers or whatever as being part of, but it is we get all of that emotion and we get to be a part of it, and we make people smile. And, somebody told me once, it's like your job, you make kids, you make people that are struggling through life, you make them smile. And that's, you got the best job in the world. And I think that you really have just brought joy to people. I mean, you make people happy. That's cool, right?
I try. And no matter who you are out there, every person on the other side of that fence, you're part of the show. The people are watching you. They're watching you on the TV. They're watching you in the stands. The drivers, the fans, you are really part of the show. And I'm gonna miss being part of the show.
Yep.
Before we get to anything else, before I forget, you passed the torch, so to speak, to our good buddy Sugar Sean Folsom, who's been taking pictures with you forever. An interesting note, and he will back up the story. He might be listening tonight. I actually let him borrow my camera the first night he ever tried to take pictures. And it wasn't necessarily a great camera, but that's how he got started. Is he was like, he saw me trying to take pictures. Like, here, let me show you how to use it. And he's like, hey, can I go take pictures? I'm like, go.
Rachel,
you know how to use the camera better than I do. So
it was one of them Kodaks that it was a disposable camera, and you took it to the Walgreens afterwards. It
wasn't that bad. It had a screen that I didn't know how to use. So
you're aging yourselves here.
Anyway.
We're not as young as we once were, but we're not as old as we are either.
Yeah.
That's all right. I feel it these days. It's been 10 years and your girl is tired. I'm tired.
Yeah, that's why I took a little step back myself. So I have to ask you. So to cap off the career, and again, we'll talk about moving forward. I mean, what's next? Whatever. I mean, how are you going to waste your time now? But I have to ask you. So you finish off the season, hell, getting behind the wheel of all things, a dwarf car. I'm like, girl, don't start in that.
I was hoping you weren't going to bring that up.
Only because I'm here to tell you, it's like, that's not the one to start in.
But it is because I love dwarf cars.
I know you do.
have been a dwarf car fan since the very beginning.
I have beautiful photos of that number 4 car on that wall that you took because you like those cars. But
so we finally got the powder puff race in. It finally stopped being rained out, and I looked at the weather forecast and I was like, it's not going to rain. I'm really going to have to do this, but it's okay. It was good. So I did okay in hot laps. I mean, I made my circles. I didn't hit anything. And then I did okay in my heat race. I made circles. I still didn't hit anything. And then the car wouldn't go in gear. It's been a problem for me with the car. And so I had a couple of choices. I could either pull it to the infield and completely quit, or I could keep trying to do the gears or run it too fast in the wrong gear and risk messing up Dwayne's car. Or I could just run around the bottom, which is what I said I was going to do the whole time, but I was kidding. But it actually worked out that I ran around the bottom the whole time and just let the girls have fun passing me. So as they were passing me, like Jesse was going, and I'm like, oh, there's one. Oh, there she goes again. There's 3, there's 4, there's 5. I think it was 6 or 7 times that I got lapped, and I didn't even have to hit the brakes because I wasn't going fast enough because the car was stuck in gear. But when I pulled into the infield, of course, I was sad my car wouldn't work and had a little pity party, but that's fine because when I woke up on Sunday, the only thing I could think in my head was when I got out of that car, all I could hear and see behind me was the squeals of the girls getting out of the cars and the hugs and kisses from the husbands and everybody. So proud of them. And all I could think was, this was such an amazing event. I really hope they do it again. I hope they invite me to drive again because I will get out there and I'll finish a couple of places from last, not exactly last, but they had prizes for last place and hard luck, so it's okay. It was such a good event. I'm so glad they put that on. It was so much fun.
I drove that car one time, that car that you drove, and I'm bringing this up because I want to tell you, I hung that thing in gear at Texana. I could not get it. I think I got it to second, and I am not a fan of that shifter on that car. So
it's not just me, so that's okay.
No, somebody that's run a lap or two did the same thing. So okay. Don't feel bad, but you did a hell of a job. We're proud of you for that.
Thank you. I did it. That's all that matters. And I was decked out with my I looked good doing it. I had a bag from On Demand that I had all my gear in, and I had my race suit from Austin Witt. And I was ready. I was decked out, but I was just slow. It's okay.
It's okay.
So you got a custom made race suit and all that. I mean, are you going to race a regular car again, or you just want to do a dwarf car, or one and done? I mean, is that how it is?
No, sir. I just got it to look good for that race. I am not a racer. I do not have a racer's mentality. I have no desire to get in a car again. If it's a powder puff for the dwarf cars, sure, I'll come and play, but I am not a racer. I'm not doing that.
Hey, just wear it out in public. I mean, Halloween's coming.
Halloween's coming, yeah.
Put your race suit on.
I can do that. Yeah. I mean, if it gets cold at a race, I can just pull it out of the trailer and I can be warm and look important.
There you go. Well, hell, you're going to be important. Don't worry about that. So speaking of that, speaking of races or whatever. So now what? I mean, you don't have to edit photos. I mean, I'm sure that you will still be an integral part of what Robert's doing. I mean, obviously supporting him as moving forward, but what do we get to see you with a camera at some point for some races, or what are you going to do next now that you're just going to be Rachel, not the picture taker?
I need a new nickname. It's going to be like Rachel Stewart. I need a new nickname. I got to come up with something. Somebody's got to come up with something. I'm not going far. we'll just say I'm not going far. Of course, I'm going to be a really good tire grinder and beating body panels out and putting the car together and washing it for Robert. You know, I'll be his little cheerleader and his little pit crew. But the most exciting part that haven't put out online just yet, but started last weekend, is received a call from James Cole with On Demand Shirts, and he asked if myself and Nick Robbins would be willing to come together to help lead the STEM series through 2026. So going forward in 2026, I'll be working closely with Nick and James to help lead the STEM series.
Oh,
Now I get to play with modifieds.
yeah. You thought
Surprise.
you thought you were taking a step back. Now you were diving ass end over elbows into this stuff, girl.
That's okay, because it's a different kind of work. Those who know me know that I'm a workhorse. I love working and doing things, and it's just a different kind of work. And it's you probably won't really see me with a camera. I may be out there getting some individuals for promotional use for stems, but you're not really going to see me probably out there with a camera. I'm moving on from that. I'm gonna do what I can. We had our first meeting for STEM's leadership team, and we've got some exciting things coming up. So I'm not gonna go into details. It's too soon for all of that. But we've got some really exciting things. Nick, James, and I, all three have very different.
Personalities.
Not personal. What's the word I'm looking for?
Maybe philosophies, ideas.
We just have different strengths.
Oh, okay.
We have very different strengths, and we can bring those together, and we can take this thing from really good to greatness, we feel. And the one thing that we all have that we are perfectly in alignment on is the passion for the race cars. We have the passion for the sport, and we really want to see this taken to the next level. So that's the goal in 2026. We're going to talk to the racers and see what they think, what they feel, and base our decisions on that going forward in 2026. It's going to be very exciting.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
Magic Mike Knott's here. Rachel Stewart, Racer Chaser.
No.
Yeah, that sounds kind of not. Yeah.
I already got one of those. I'm good. Thank you. One's enough.
Yes. One is definitely enough. Sorry, Bobby, that was the last one I had. I always say last.
No,
one.
I mean, she's on the right path.
I'm kind of blown away by that one. I'm like,
yeah,
shit, now I'm like,
she's on the right path. Every time Rodney and I tried to step away, we come in deeper than we were before, nose deep generally, and that's sounds like you're on that same path like everybody else. Every time you try to step away, you come back and you're way more elbows and knee pads deeper in the muck and the fun. I don't know. I have to ask Robert a question. If he's still there, can he hear us?
He can hear you. Robert,
Hey, has Rachel been a bridezilla, or is it just a yes, dear? You can do anything you want.
Yes, dear. She can do anything she wants.
My man.
There you go. That's the best answer right there.
He's lying. He's lying to you. I had a whole event planned. It was big, and he said nope. So I got him to agree to a private ceremony, and that's it. It's going to be private, and it's going to be really nice. It's going to be just what we want. It's going to be pretty simple.
Will there be like some sort of, I mean, you're a meeting planner, you're a party planner. Will there be like a party for the rest of us, to come and celebrate the happy couple? No? Screw us? No, I don't blame you.
There might be. I'm going to go with, on this public forum, we're going with no. But right. I can give you more details on potential celebrating with us at a later time.
Keep us posted on the STEM stuff. If that happens to get thrown in there, then we'll go from that point.
Yeah, yes. Gotcha.
Yeah. That is super cool. Congratulations on that. I think you're going to be so great at doing that, and it's a great next step for you. Just to kind of close out your 10 years of Behind the Lens. I mean, final thoughts. I mean, like I said, relationships you have built amazing ones. You have brought joy to the racing community, I can tell you, because a lot of times we show up at the racetrack and we are beat down and trying to figure out how we're going to pay mortgages and different things. And somebody walks up smiling and happy, and it just kind of makes a lot of that disappear even after a bad night. So kind of your closeout. It's all you.
I try. I really, really try to be a positive light out there. And the way I look at it, sometimes I come off the track and you can just feel the tension that's going on. There's people yelling at people over here and yelling at people over there, and I'm just like, oof, is this what it's like off the track? Apparently it is. But the tires in the infield that I've been with for 10 years, the tires are very nice. They don't yell at anybody. So when I get off the track, I still have that energy and the smiles when everybody else has had a rough night. But really, I just want to thank everybody. There's so many people who have been with me throughout the journey, starting from Ellen to introduce me to people, and you guys. And then it's been so special watching these kids grow up, like little Blaine Markgraf, from the little kid that got out of his go-kart smiling to now he's winning fireball races. And I-37 bringing me in, Marianne bringing me in, Robert dealing with the late nights and the bright lights in the car because I got to get my victory lane photos out before my Whataburger gets cold and people start blowing up my phone. It's been a heck of a journey. There's been a lot of really good memories. I want to thank everybody that supported me along the way, everybody that's ever done a photo sponsorship, bought photos, hero cards. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Yep. You will be missed.
Thank you. I'm not going far. You're
No,
still
but-
going to see me at every Cotton Bowl race. Of course, Robert's the priority here. So where he's racing at Cotton Bowl, I will be, and then I'll work out the rest of the stuff later. So you'll still see me.
Of course. Absolutely. We're proud of what you've done. We're proud to know you, and thank you for serving our racing family for 10 years, over 10 years. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. We appreciate you, and good luck moving forward, and give that groom a hug for us.
I will. I'll give him a hug.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, girl. Love you. Talk to you soon.
Love ya. Bye.
See your age.
There she goes. Rachel Plant, special person right there, to where I think that's really the thing that kind of I was talking about right there, is to where she really has brought joy to what can be a very stressful sport with just her appearance. I mean, her demeanor. I mean, she's just a good lady. Good lady.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the ability to stay level-headed in certain circumstances, like she says, when somebody's yelling over here or yelling over there, and then to catch the moments where somebody's winning for the first time or winning after a tragedy or anything like that. Winning is winning, right? Like, it's always special. But I know 10. Let's see, what has it been? 16 years after I raced. I still see victory lane pictures from when I was racing pop up as Facebook memories, and it's still, they're just as special now as they were 10 years ago. The trophies may be broke, and that money already spent from what little bit of money you got from winning, but those pictures, I mean, they're there. They get a bigger legacy every year. So unsung duties are camera personnel, camera people, picture takers.
She was actually one of the first that actually, because one of the cool things about when you're racing is you get out there and, the kiddos come over, and adults, and, you get to sign autographs and so forth. And she was really one of the first ones that really took her and Sean, where you take the hero card thing and make that such a valuable tool for the racer, at a very at a loss for them, to be able to produce those. I mean, I know she made me some amazing dwarf car hero cards. I still have some of those now. It's an amazing picture where she put me on the right up where you used to go off pit road at CTS. She parked me up there, put me in a driving suit with the helmet on top of the car, and it's like I'm like on a Horizon thing, and we had to time the time of day perfectly and everything for when she wanted to take the shot. And she was one of the first ones that did that, and it's stuff like that. I mean, it's those contributions that make her time in the sport very important, and the part of STEMS is gaining a valuable tool right there with her.
Yeah, definitely more behind the scenes.
Mhm.
There's lots of stuff that she does behind the scenes that she doesn't want to get credit for.
Yep.
That you and I are privy to know some of the stuff that she does. So, as we said, every time you try to step away, you're in a little deeper than you were before. It's the cycle of the way this business works. So,
That's why you do what I do. Don't leave the house. It's like I say when you're going to get away from it, don't go to the track. Don't go to the track. Folks have said, "Why aren't you announcing when you're home?" I just can't. I can't. I can't. It will do that to you. It will do that to you. We'll wrap it up with some NASCAR talk as we head to Talladega. Point system continues to be a conversation. We've already talked about a spotter that's been sent home from Talladega on his own accord. That and more when Revved Up continues. Here's a word from My Race Pass.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
That's right. Download that thing. You will not regret it. The My Race Pass app. It is truly one of the coolest things that you're going to have if you're in racing, and you don't have to be at the racetracks. You get announcer audio with a lot of different facilities there as well. It is the My Race Pass app. Also, a big thanks to Simpson, my friend JD Bowser with the hookup right here. Simpson, that's where you want to get your racing apparel from. Don't go around to the go to the source. And here in Texas, we've got a huge Simpson facility right there down the road in New Braunfels. So check them out. It is simpsonracing.com, simpson.com. I meant to tell you, Bobby, at the part of the program, one of the things, because I listened to a lot of the race on Sunday I listened to on the road. And our man Mark Garrow, final call for him, the guru, Mark Garrow. Yeah, you mentioned that he had told you that he was going to be stepping away, but the final call right there for him on PRN. Another great, when you talk about relationships that you and I have made, just happened to, sitting at COTA and some dude walks up and wants to chat with us. And he's like, "Oh, my name is Mark Garrow." I'm like, "Holy shit, you want to chat with us?"
yeah, one of the best and one of the coolest guys out there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I remember he walked up and he's like, "Man, I started in local radio. I love guys that are in local radio and guys that are doing independent stuff, and it's a great relationship, man. Those Sundays with the guru were really cool at COTA. Really, really gonna miss
and
that.
he was been on the show multiple times. Just another one of him and Doug Rice, iconic calls for 25 plus years, so almost probably 30 if you really think about it. 30 plus years, the two of them together. Doug retired last year, Mark retired this year. It's a change of the guard. Jeff Striegel left.
Yeah.
MRN, and so I mean it's a new generation of voices coming up to lead the NASCAR radio networks on the various platforms, MRN and PRN.
And our phone hasn't rang.
They still haven't called my stuff. I don't know if my people need to call their people or how that's supposed to work.
I don't know what's happened. They haven't called us, but anyway. Denny Hamlin this past weekend, the winner there in Cup Series action. And my question to you is, was this the point? Denny gets out of the car. He wins 60. Obviously, his father, not in the best condition. We don't know the extent of that. But Denny actually got applause. Is this the time where Denny – we've seen it happen with Darrell Waltrip. We've seen it happen with Rusty Wallace. We've seen it with so many of these guys. Is this where Denny Hamlin, with still all the platforms that he has and everything that he does and lawsuits and so forth, is this where Denny Hamlin becomes the baby face? Is that what we're watching happen here?
Absolutely not. Maybe for this particular week, but it won't be long before he says something asshole-ish here in the next couple of wins. If he wins that Cup championship, he's going to be the first one to say, "I beat your favorite driver." Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And on his podcast,
those were sympathy claps.
Yeah, it was. It's kind of hard to tell somebody to F off when they're crying, out of emotion. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's got to be a really bad situation. But he did talk about on his I don't know if this was on his podcast or on a different I just cut up the sound to where he talked about, I think, something that a lot of us can think about with your life in racing when it comes to your family being a part of this, and with his dad not in the best condition, and his dad being able to see that 60th win. Then he talked about his dad and the importance that his dad and his family have had on his career. It's going to start soon.
Well, and just he's he's the one that got me into racing, and took me to a racetrack when I was 5, and then made all the sacrifices financially to keep me going. They sold everything they had, and we almost lost our house a couple times, and just try to keep it all going. And so I'm glad he was able to see 60. That was super important to me.
Big deal right there for him as he wins that at Las Vegas. And we'll see moving forward what comes about next as they get set to head to Talladega. So playoffs getting pretty thick right there, and the playoff conversation continues to happen about what's going to happen next. But I do like that there's not anything that's going to be in concrete until the season's over. Just let's get this over with and move forward at that point.
Well, I think that's what they want to do, because they openly said they don't want to take away from this year's championship by announcing something else to deminimize or dilute the championship as it is now. So I think that's a smart move by NASCAR. Who knows what they're going to do? We've heard they're going to do a little bit of everything. Who knows?
And I think NASCAR's kind of toying with us a little bit when we talk about Denny Hamlin doing stuff, because you go to early this week, Door Bumper Clear, another great podcast. Here's NASCAR's Mike Ford on that very topic.
A second. I think the biggest thing that people complain about is the guy that dominates the year. If it's a 32 race championship and that's 4 races playoff, whatever, that guy, whoever wins, should start with the most points, right? There shouldn't be back to 0 and, okay, thank you for us talking about you all year long. Now you have a 1 in 4 chance of winning instead of 40%.
I think that's probably going to happen. That was so we got
breaking news. Well, breaking news.
Yeah. Well, I think we talked about. I feel like I have. If I haven't, so there you go. There's your clip, Dirty Mo.
There it is. So what would that be? 32 races and then a 4-race sprint, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's still the playoff is not going away. It's just going to be the format that's going to change.
Yeah. And the more that I've thought about it, I mean, the 10-race chase, I think I like that idea for it to come back, but I think that what NASCAR doesn't want to do is they're not going to rehash an old system. I mean, I think it's kind of at a point right now to where they need to do something different that's going to be different just because of that, to not revert back to in the 36 or 37, whatever it would be. I mean, if you want to do it that way, the only reason that I want to see them do that is to do that just to say, okay, we did it here. Let's go. How do you like it now? But I think at the same time, to where so much of this is generated by TV partners and by series partners and so forth. And there's a lot of that's factored in where I think people don't think about that part, to where it's like there are a lot of outside sources that have to sign off on whatever the hell they're going to come up with.
Well, I think the biggest problem is that NASCAR fans are the pickiest fans in all of sports.
Yep. Because
they're going to bitch about everything. And we've bitched about them bitching about everything for years. Everything from the number placement to the, NASCAR this past week announced they're going to go from 670 to 750. Everybody said, give them more horsepower, give them more horsepower. NASCAR gives them more horsepower, and the same people bitching wanting more horsepower, they want 900. Not enough. Yeah. Not enough here, not enough there. They bitch about everything. And so it's just, you can't make NASCAR fans happy, which is unfortunate. And, and it's kind of like, It's that I've never understood the fact that the people that bitch about it the most are the ones that watch it. Yes, ratings are down.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, because it's the people that bitch every single week about something or watching it or keeping track of it somehow. I mean, granted, nobody watched Las Vegas to be the playoff opener, but that's what network TV does for you. And the fact that you don't advertise anything else on the mothership. So,
yeah. Yeah, and that's a great point right there. We mentioned that at the beginning of the show, to where it's like the ratings come out and NHRA, surpasses NASCAR for the first time since 2017 or whatever the case is.
Minute. It's been a long time since NHRA was number one.
Yeah, and
that was after somebody got killed, I think, because everybody started watching it.
Yeah. Leger checking in right here. I mean, it sounds like some dirt racers, asphalt race, all of them. I mean, they're going to bitch and moan about everything. I mean, we talk about it, and again, here I am beating a dead horse and being an old dude, being Uncle Ronnie, as they call me over on Texas Sports Unfiltered when I get on these tangents. But it's like, when you talk about how much NASCAR has changed, I've been around long enough to watch where short track racing has changed tremendously as well, to where it's a totally, and you've been around long enough to where it is a totally different environment, a totally different everything from what we grew up with, just like it is with NASCAR. And you know what?
This is not my daddy's NASCAR.
All right. This is
my grandpa's NASCAR.
This is called evolution. And that's why, when I was posting all those pictures last week of all those classic cars and all that shit, when I'd say, okay, this looks like a short track car, because you don't run that in NASCAR anymore. I mean, that's not your production car that you're going to run. And I think it doesn't help at the same time with the horsepower change, to where, and that was the first thing. Honestly, you hit the nail on the head, to where it's like, okay, there more horsepower. No, it's not enough. Not enough. Absolutely not enough. Haven't even run a lap with it, and it's not enough. But then Larson comes out and apparently did a test somewhere, and they gave him 750 horsepower. And then Kyle Larson, who has, a pretty good influence over things in NASCAR and has a great following, Kyle Larson says, "Oh, I had 750 horsepower. I couldn't tell the difference." Great. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, man.
It'll come to the mile and a half, because that mile and a half track, that race in Vegas was not very entertaining.
Yeah. It wasn't,
especially after staying up super late to watch the Bathurst 1000 with the supercars.
And the thing is, with the NHRA, I see a lot of people to where it had the NFL lead in, and that does happen a lot of times, to where if you don't have YouTube TV, or you don't have Red Zone or the NFL ticket or whatever, a game ends where you're watching this thing and the TV stays on. And I'm not sure how you calculate TV ratings. I don't know how all that happens, but, and I don't know what the game before the NHRA, well, probably Dallas around here. I guess it would have been the Cowboys, because they were a noon game. So, if a TV stays on and they calculate ratings,
and it was the Texas Motorplex, so that worked out perfect for them.
Absolutely. And it's, with NHRA, it's a good presentation. I mean, I will tell you very honestly, Bobby, and I think you know this better than anybody, I watch NHRA for two reasons, and her initials are AB. I'm not a big drag racing guy, but they did. The fact that they outdid NASCAR or the Cup Series, and still, again, if you want to find positives, I think you need to find what the CW is doing with the Xfinity Series, because they are drawing some really damn good ratings on college football Saturdays, with what to me is the best racing that you're going to find in the Big Three Series.
It's because the numbers on the door.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Well, you heard what they said. You heard what OD said. Steve O'Donnell said on Dale Jr. when they talked about it. NASCAR doesn't care where the number goes.
Oh yeah.
He said he does not give. It said NASCAR does not care where the number goes. The fans do. He said, but if you're mad at somebody, get mad at the race team alliance, because they want the number pushed forward so they can. Granted, not every team does a very good job of it, but they want that whole quarter panel to be about sponsors, but yet only 50% of the teams take advantage of it and make the paint schemes look worth the damn with the door that far forward. I still think if you move the door number back, that calms the natives just a little bit, because it looks like I have plenty of diecast with the new body style that has the number put back where it's supposed to be under the window and not on the front quarter panel, and it looks fine. Looks great.
I think that whole thing backfired on the RTA, because I think what they had planned is, like, when you don't see, because I've said with this car, there's a lack of quarter panel. I mean, because the ass is kind of short on it to where it's you've got the valence up over the rear wheels, and you don't have a lot of room back there to where you can do that. So you need that part of the door to where you can do the bulk of whatever your sponsor is going to be. But I think this is where they thought that they were still going to be blowing, people are going to be blowing money left and right to get on these traveling billboards, and these sponsorships that we're getting these days are minimal, for these teams. I mean, how long was Denny going?
That's why there's 20 sponsors per car, damn near.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why you don't see a redundant paint scheme on these cars anymore. And it's like, well, Kyle Larson has the same sponsor all the time, but yeah, it's fucking HendrickCars.com. That's his team.
Yeah. There's 2 cars that look the same every single week.
Yeah.
The number 22 and the number 5.
And the number 5. Yeah. If you really want to look at that, I mean, Logano is the one to where it's like that. Now that car is decked out in Pennzoil most of the time. I mean, that's where he's done a tremendous job of doing that. So kind of
it looks good because it's got a gigantic Pennzoil logo on the quarter panel.
Great looking.
But look at like a Ream sponsorship, a little bitty Ream sticker right below the window, the rear window.
Yep.
Some teams take advantage of it, some teams don't. But it's kind of like, well, I don't know.
Yeah. And, the whole difference is with that, I mean, it takes a lot of money to go out and sell these sponsorships. I mean, trust me. I've seen numbers lately that I'm like, whoa, I can't count that high. I don't have enough fingers and toes to count that high with what's being spent right here for a lot of these. I mean, just for 1, 2, 3, 4 races, it's like, are you kidding me? So it's a lot, but I do think I am very much on board with you now to where I do think the number thing, because the car looks enough like a car, like a standard car that you would see on the street, to where if you did shift that number back a little bit, maybe shrink the number down, allow them shrink the number down so you can put whatever the hell you need to put on it. Hey, maybe let's go to a sticker package. Let's go to contingency sponsors. Remember that? That's unheard of. That was the favorite part for me running the weekly series.
I hated contingency
that whole sticker package.
Yeah.
On it. Yeah.
You took away the whole design of a race car with the contingency package.
Yeah. I'll tell you what sucked is when we had to put those on for weekly racing. Then you go out there and crash on those metal bodied cars and to get all that shit off of there. Oh my God. But it was cool. They threw us some money back in those days. So not a bad thing at all. So your thoughts of Talladega. So here we go. You've got a couple of guys that are in now. Here's your wild card. I think that somebody will be in big trouble. Maybe 2 of these guys will be in big trouble that maybe are already in big trouble at this point. But you got guys like Blaney, Byron, unfortunate situation right there that we talked about. You got some guys that are pretty deep poo-poo right here as we head to the monster there at Talladega.
I mean, Talladega is just chaos.
Yep.
I mean, there's no telling. I don't even pay that much attention to my fantasy lineup when it comes to Talladega. I usually just pick a random set of numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8 card numbers, and go with it. Of course, that's why I'm also dead last in our fantasy league at points wise too. But you just never know what to expect. Your top guys will be there, but there's going to be carnage. I don't think I don't think we're going to go with the fuel save. I think everybody's aware how that's going to work. But I think you're going to get calamity towards the end of a fuel run with everybody trying to jockey for position and get ready to go and get in the lane and all that. You'll see the manufacturers work together like normal. I don't think anything is going to overly abundantly stick out to make this Talladega race different than any other super speedway race. I just think, you add that extra little bit of, the only thing I'm really looking forward to with Talladega is what it's going to do to Martinsville in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think because it's going to shake shit up for sure. And you're going to see some of the content. Nobody's safe except for Denny Hamlin. You'll see the contenders get wadded up in a big one. If there's not, I guess the only thing that would surprise me if there's not a big one.
Yeah. That's, that would kind of be adding insult to injury, is if, with the declining TV ratings. And again, you're on cable TV. And like you said yesterday on text, ain't nobody got cable anymore. But
well, it's on network TV, so they don't have an excuse. So hopefully they do the non-green flag commercials like they did last year. They hadn't mentioned it, but
yeah,
I mean, when nobody knows the race is on, you don't see a single bit of advertisement on it during any NFL network about it being on USA. I did see some commercials talking about it going to be on Talladega. They did the commercials on USA about it being on network NBC. But I think the next 3 are. I think you have Talladega, Martinsville, and the championship race at Phoenix should all be network NBC.
Yeah, I think they all are. So hopefully that's going to be something that will pick that up a little bit. But and I'm curious to see what happens. Well, I mean, TV packages and all that. I think that there's going to be a shift maybe with that. And a big part of me says with the TV and with the emphasis that we're seeing on it and lack of whatever, this is kind of where I'm like, all right, screw it. Let's go to streaming. Let's put it. Let's let the people that want to watch it. But you know, that's not a popular take. But this series is big enough to where it needs to have some sort of
it needs to have the opportunity to have a universal appeal, which it does not.
Right, and that's a hard thing.
The ability to have universal consumption, I guess, would be better.
Right. And that's where, like with the NFL, I mean, with all these leagues, and people that say you can't compare stick and ball to racing, it depends on how you're trying to compare them. But when it comes to TV, you know that if you're not looking at all these red zones and all the different other things to find these things, you know that you go to Fox and you go to CBS, and that's where you're going to get your content. I mean, you know that it's going to be there. But the fact that NASCAR's kind of bounced around, and I get it. I mean, NASCAR's taken the big money and kind of gone to the best TV provider that was going to afford them the most money. And I don't know, you know, if that gets more consistent, maybe it changes things. But you're not going to be on, especially this time of year. I mean, it's going to be really hard to be on network TV with college football in the NFL. I mean,
and MLB playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's a big part of Fox. That's a big part of ESPN. Hockey's now started.
Hockey's back, yeah.
Hockey's back. So that's where it gets.
And
really
just wait. You think it's bad about NASCAR? Wait till what they announce at Formula One this weekend about their TV package.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's coming up. And Formula
For
One.
those that don't know, Formula One's going to Apple TV full time for the next couple of years. The exclusive U.S. rights are going to be on Apple TV, so you have to pay. I'm assuming they'll have a special sports tier. I would guess. I would think they'd have to, but yeah, just like with the MLS, you're going to have an Apple TV subscription and start watching Formula One racing in the United States. Rumors are 4 times much more money than what ESPN was paying. You can't blame Formula One for following that stack of cash.
And you know what the Formula One fans are going to do? They're just going to transition and go watch it.
Probably.
They're just going to do it. I mean, you'll have a few folks that are going to talk about, you know, whatever.
I ain't never watching this shit again.
Yeah, but I seriously, they may see a little bit of a ratings dip because I think a lot of people with the between the time that season ends and the time that they start again, you know, that they forget or don't know where to find it. But when they find it, they're going to watch it. I
really thought Amazon would be a bigger player in that. I could see Amazon picking up Formula One. More mass appeal. They don't have shit on Apple TV though.
These things, dude. I mean, the Apple is. I mean, and the other part of this, I bet that Apple is going to take Formula One and make that such a big part of their brand, to where it's like they take it to another level. Which that's what I think. That's what I think NASCAR should do with Amazon.
Apple paid for the movie, the F1 movie with Brad Pitt. So,
and that's why a big part of me says with NASCAR. You know, I know they're going to try to find the old fan and all this shit. Well, the old fan don't want to be a part of it, so they say, but yet they watch every week. Fuck, forget it. Go to Amazon. I mean, go new directions. New directions.
This CW thing really woke a lot of people up, though. I remember you and I talked about it. I don't know if it's going to work having every single race on network TV. No, it worked. It damn sure worked. It worked good enough to acquire a brand new sponsor.
Yeah. The biggest problem that they had was when they couldn't get the local affiliates to put it on, because a lot of the DFW didn't have it on, and that is hell. Next Star's from there, and they weren't broadcasting those races. But yeah, you know, when the
local affiliates finally came online with that deal,
they really have, and it really has been nice. I mean, help put the Cup Series on CW, put them on CW. Who cares? Maybe you can change some of the announcers. You know,
maybe.
Get some new blood in there. But anyway, all right. So coming up this week, let's kind of get back home over here. So you will be right here, my friend. You've got the Texana Clash coming up. Kind of talk about that one right there, man. A lot of money on the line for the factory stocks.
Lots of money on the line. Going to be a lot of fun. It's the big season-ending race. Weather looks good, promising. I think there's 20% chance of rain there on Friday night, but that's normal for down there by the coast. There's always a 20% chance of rain any given time. But I don't think weather's going to be an issue. Car count should not be an issue. I've been seeing some of the people that's been messaging on the backside of the Facebook page about coming down. I think it's going to be a hell of a race. I think we're going to have a hell of a good time with a couple of, kind of double shows working in with limited mods running back to back Friday night and Saturday night. So I think we're just going to have a lot of fun, a lot of good racing going on there at Texana. I'm looking forward to it. I always have a good time. Had a really successful banquet 2 weekends ago, so it was a lot of fun celebrating the track champions. Now we get a lot of fun showcasing, as our buddy KR likes to call it, the best kept secret in Texas racing, Texana Raceway Park.
And I'm jealous of you because you got to give out awards and you got to take pictures with my sweetheart there. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, and the couple of pictures they took, I had that big ass trophy covering up my fat.
Well, I didn't even look at
the camera added about 30 pounds.
I didn't even look at you. And of course, Cody knows that I'm joking and knows that I'm not joking. But yeah, congratulations to all the champs right there. Also coming up. Oops, sorry. That was for last week. That has passed. And congratulations to CBS, by the way, Cotton Bowl Speedway. Another great season right there. Another great Oktoberfest. We're happy to be a small part of their program. But I'll tell you, Marianne and H, it's one of those things to where I was telling a buddy of mine on the trip this weekend, because he was asking about different racetracks around the state of Texas. And I said, we got some really good ones. We got some of the most pristine, famous racetracks that you're going to find with dirt track. And I was telling him about Cotton Bowl. I said, you got CBS that has, multiple classes. And they have such an amazing following of drivers and fans where it's like they may not go anywhere else. It may be, a once a month show or twice a month show, whatever it is, but they will congregate at that place. And that's really special what they have there and continue to build there at CBS.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The last couple of times I've been able to work some time into the schedule to get to Cotton Bowl. I had a good time, enjoyed myself, and had a really good time. Last time I went to Cotton Bowl, I got home at 5:30 in the morning.
Nice.
And the races were over at 11 o'clock.
Nice. Also on the docket here in southeast Texas, Houston Motorsports Park will wrap up. You've got the full docket of racing there. Also some burnout competitions, I think, that's going to be happening there during the intermission time. Our man Magic Mike Knotts once again, extra car. I wish I could, Magic. I wish I could. I'm going to take you up on that at some point because I fit a little bit better in those cars at the moment. But I've got some network duties that I have to tend to with a 7 o'clock Texas Kentucky game. So I'll be up late for pregame, but be following along there as H&P closes out another year. I guess this is the finale, right? I think this is it. I'm kind of
I think they got one more, November 9th, I think.
They got one more. Okay. I do want to ask you this. So I caught a little heat because I posted something, I think on the Facebook, I guess is where it was, with HMP. It was somebody posted one of those videos about the hidden track, whatever in Houston, this whole thing about HMP. And I posted about, maybe getting a pro late model race, a super late model race and so forth. And it's like, hey, we need to get the locals in and, a big local race. So, well, we've tried local races.
They've tried local racing, and local racers don't want to show up.
They don't want to show up. They show up on online, and then when it's race time, they don't show up. That's why I'm a big fan of pre-registration. But anyway, regardless. So your thoughts with HMP? I think the Modifieds of Mayhem, I think would be a good one. But that's kind of at the same time, I think with the Modifieds of Mayhem, they're going to.
They tried that.
They did. They tried that. They did
8 or 10 come through there.
Yeah. 8 or 10. I saw Ricky Sportsman as something that was thrown out there as well. I think for that series, it makes it hard because that's Central Florida for most of those guys and ladies. And, there's probably something we could ask Brusso and Brooke Store, but that's a hell of a haul. That's got to be a good pay. And
the easiest solution to it is real simple.
Mm-hmm.
Triple header. You run a UARA race.
Mm-hmm.
You run a Modified of Mayhem race. And you run a truck race all on the same weekend, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
One big shot, one big ass race to see how it's going to take.
Yeah.
And if it's successful, then maybe bring them back. We'll break them up, bring back a Modified of Mayhem race. You just got to time it right on the schedule. I've always said if you can find a way to bring a Southern Super Series race here and turn it into a snowball contingency spot would make you get all the guys from the West Coast to come up to Houston. So I think that the opportunity is the track is there for the taking. I just think that it's just too big of a risk, and most promoters don't want to do it because most of the they'll go north to south for 4 or 5 hours, but they won't go east to west for 10 hours.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the thought. I mean, the other thought that I had was, and this is a big maybe to where it's got to be, where you got to go in there and find the sponsor, and you got to find the money. If you could do some sort of like an Alan Turner pre-qualifier type for pro late models with the modifieds in the trucks, and I saw the Crown Vic thing was thrown at me. Well, have a big Crown Vic race, they're not going to come from Florida to race at Houston. I mean, they'll
go from Florida to Georgia,
right?
They're not going to go from Florida to Texas.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. And I mean, look, bottom line, Stone Cold Steve Austin, bottom line, you ain't got enough Crown stocks in Houston. I mean, hell, they're all Owens having to, facilitate the field right there. I mean, with a lot of those, and that's just the way it is. And the thing is with the modifieds, I think it would need to be a bona fide modifieds of mayhem, because you've got what, 7 or 8 modifieds that you have racing out there. But usually it's what, 1 of 2, 3 that are going to be the ones that are going to be, if the modifieds of mayhem came in, that were going to be the more contending cars with those guys, because that's where you're turning up the notches a little bit. And Enrique checks in right there. Amigo, ¿qué pasó, mi amigo? That's where, if you get Max, to bring some of his guys out in something like that. But I do think, I really do think, and it's not a slight at anybody, but I think if you're really going to try to go in full bore right here, that it needs to be a super thing. I mean, it's got to be a super late model.
A lot of people excited, and nothing against the track management that's there now. They're doing their best to get as many cars as they can out there. They're bending over backwards. They are bending over backwards, but for whatever reason, it's just not taking. And I don't know why. I've never been able to figure it out. The racing was good when I filled in for Jennifer, a couple of back in August, and had a great time. The racing was good. Thought the racing was great. The atmosphere was a lot of fun. Crowd was incredible, but it just needed a few more cars to make it even better than it was.
Yeah. And I think that maybe that's what it will take if you can get that, but that's easier said than done, like we talk about, because it is with I think it would take Tim Bryant, Ricky Brooks. I mean, you name the guys that bring their show to town, to where it is like a traveling thing like NASCAR. And I think that's where, if you could get an event like that to where, you see 25, 24 cars on the racetrack zipping around there. And I mean race cars. I mean, I'm talking about the best that you can find when it comes to short track racing. Look, I love bombers. I love stock cars. I love all of that, but it needs to be a bona fide show with badass race cars. And then you supplement with what you have. I love your truck idea. And you never know with that, if you put the trucks on that bill, maybe you get some Mobile, maybe you get some Pensacola, maybe you get some of those guys. So anyway, that's, again, we only provide the ideas on this program. That's all we do. That's all we do.
We provide the ideas, and we're really good at spending other people's money.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've just booked, the Snowball Junior over here in Texas.
Don't call it the big shot. Don't call it the big shot.
Oh, I found my sweatshirt the other day, the Texas Big Shot 250. Found that. I'll have to wear that next week. If it would cool off, I'd wear that on the program. Texas Big Shot 250. Man, those were the days. Remember Wayne Anderson telling those stories on this show? He's been on here too, guys. He has been on here like many others have been as well. Also coming up, maybe we can touch on it next week, the 23rd through the 25th. You got the DTK 7 Memorial happening at I-37. And again, while we're a national program, at the same time, we want to support our grassroots here and get to a racetrack this week if you can.
Yeah, going to be a lot of the big show. I mean, big show season's here. You got Texana, you got 37. Corpus has got 3 or 4 big shows lined up to close out the end of the year. Spark, you got the shootout coming up. I think the weekend of Thanksgiving, or the weekend before. And then you've got the Sparkling City Classic, and then you've got some other races. So I mean, there's still, Texas wise, you may have to drive a little bit to get to it. They got the race coming up in Waco, the Fryjip Memorial, All In Racing. What's normally known
Lucky
as the Fall
13.
Classic. Yeah. So there's still lots of good racing here in Texas, lots of good racing around. All you got to do is look for it.
Yep.
And you can find it. If you're a race fan, if you're able, get to the damn racetrack. If you can't, watch it on a streamer. But if you're close, go smell that fuel. Go smell the burnt rubber. Go witness the sparks and the smoke and all the good shit that comes with seeing a race live.
Nachos. Go get some beer spilled on you. Go smell the peanuts. Peanuts is what I said. Speaking of racing, streaming, High Limit's about to fire off right there. So we'll put this bun in the oven and wrap it up right here. Rest of the week for you, my man. I know you got Saturday Texana. What's everything looking like for you?
I have to survive a day at the office tomorrow. I took off all day Friday. Problem is I got some honeydew lists to do before I leave since I'm gone for a couple of days. I got some honeydew list stuff to do Friday morning and then head on out towards Flag City, USA around noon. May try to pop into the Pinto Bean for lunch on Friday. Cord said there's a different place down there that's even better.
Ooh,
so I'm gonna try to hit up that place. Yeah, he said there's a place right off the square that tastes better in his opinion.
Interesting. Might have to get a trip into Edna. All right, you all. Thank you all for being a part of the program. Again, keep checking the social sites. We'll keep you updated on race events. Like Bobby said, he'll be at Texana, so you can catch him on the socials with stuff happening right there. Our friends at Race On, we'll keep you up to date. If you can't get there, they will have the stream of that event there on their platform.
Great shirts, by the way, from On Demand Shirts. Another plug. Those Texana shirts look pretty damn clean. Actually, they turned out really good.
I might see if you might be able to snag me one of those, and that's kind of one that I'd like to get in the collection because that's a really good looking shirt. So
the class shirts turned out real good.
Yeah, if you get a chance, go over there and grab me one. I'll pay you back someday.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I got speaking of get you a shirt, I got your
the
Jared Albertson shirt from Storm and Steve.
Yeah, pretty cool in there. That red one. I said I need one of those. So yeah, we'll meet up
somehow.
I tell you, the pandemic, we're never together. It's like we talk all day. Well, not all day. I know you have a job, so do I. But we talk a lot and do this program, and we never see each other for crying out loud.
Haven't been up there in a hot minute. Not since the Super Bowls last time I saw you in person in the studio.
Yeah, the only time I've been to a track this year. I mean, you were, elsewhere. So we'll have to figure out a time. Maybe we'll have a listener party, a watch party, a live show. We need to have a live show again, like in the old days before the pandemic.
Maybe come up with something somewhere.
Yep, absolutely. All right, you guys, be sure and follow up on the socials. Follow them all, the Racing America socials, our socials, Twitter, Facebook, everything. And of course, the home base, RevvedUpSportsShow.com. You'll find all the replays. The audio podcasts will drop tomorrow. You can put that on your Apple CarPlay, on your Google Play, all of that when you're driving along and relive all of the excitement that you heard tonight with Logan Dinsmore and Rachel Plant as she signs off from the photography for the last time this past weekend at Cotton Bowl Speedway. For my man, Bobby Chaffee down south, we are in Central Texas. I am Rodney Rodriguez. We will catch you next week right here with #Real Race Talk. This has been Revved Up Sports Show. See you next week.